NASCAR made history in Chicago last weekend because for the first time ever, race control consisted entirely of graduates from the Perkins School for the Blind. More on that later, because this weekend, NASCAR heads out west to wine country for the 20th race of the Cup Series season at Sonoma. Will it be another standard Sonoma snooze fest? Well, yeah, probably. But I just got done cranking Sabrina Carpenter all the way home, so I'm fired up, ready to go. And guess what? There's paint schemes to review. Let's go. Starting us off, as always, is Joey Logano's best friend, Ross the Boss. The way Joey was crying after the race, you could have convinced me that Ross tricked Joey into sticking his tongue on the end of a charged up AA battery. Meanwhile, Ross had the look of a guy that was about to go home, drink a Busch Light, and mow his yard on his Kubota tractor. 9. Since winning that race at Talladega, other than a 10th place here and an 11th place here, Austin Syndrome has been pretty much non-existent. But I guess that resembles pretty much his entire career. 6. It seemed like Austin Dillon had a lot to say about Carson Hocevar's driving capabilities after he accidentally made a parking lot coming out of turn 10. But that's a lot of big talk coming from a guy that in 42 career road course starts only has one top 10. Stay in your lane, Silver Spoon. 9. Noah finally had a pretty decent day going at Chicago until he broke a toe link that, of course, TNT never covered. I'd say it's going to get better soon, but there's literally no signs pointing towards that, so. 7. Glaze on. 10. It's still not looking very good for old Brad Keselowski, but let's look at the bright side. You're only 1 point behind the 5th seed in the playoffs? How the fuck does that work? I would rather try to explain trigonometry than the NASCAR point system. This car fucks, though. 10. The good news for Justin Haley is he finally beat out both of his teammates in a race. The bad news is it took them both having problems for that to happen. There's not enough people out there talking about how shitty this guy has been running. Justin, I promise, you're not hiding from me there, buddy. 8. You gotta give Kyle Busch a lot of credit. After spinning out pretty late in the race, he clawed his way all the way back to a 5th place finish. Then he followed that up with a win in Legend Cars on Tuesday night. It feels like Kyle has a lot of positive momentum heading into Sonoma. You know what that means? A 27th place finish. 3. I give Chase Elliott a lot of shit. But this week, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to give the guy a little bit of credit. He is second in points. He hasn't finished outside of the top 20 all year. And in the past 2 years, he has a whopping 2 victories. And you want to know the best part of all? This weekend, they designed his paint scheme to match his personality. Bland as fuck. 2. Ty Dillon is on a run in this in-season tournament that we haven't seen since Doug Edert took St. Peter's to the Elite 8. Believe it or not, I'm actually pulling for the guy. 9. Guys, I've had something on my chest for a very long time. It's time I fess up. I think it's Denny Hamlin's year to finish second in the championship again. 8. Don't be surprised if we find out in a couple months that Ryan Blaney is actually having twins. Gianna doesn't just call him Ryan fucking Blaney for no reason. I bet you this guy can lay the lumber. 9. Today I learned what Big Sips is, and by tomorrow, I won't care. 10. Mr. Buescher. Buescher losing power so early in the race was a total kick in the balls, but at least it was a quick kick in the balls. It's like when your wife falls asleep on the couch and repositions and whack! Right in the dick. I would be concerned about his current point situation, but he's going to win at Sonoma, so it doesn't matter. 10. I really appreciate how Chase Briscoe is quickly becoming the guy that just always tries to make it on fuel. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be him, I guess. 10. I'll always remember that one time that the Ream Machine didn't look like complete, utter dog shit. It's kind of like falling in love with the foreign exchange student just for her to move back to Italy. 0. Joshy! If you walk in downtown Chicago right now, Josh is still spun out in the middle of the street. They still haven't thrown the caution. 8. Or should I say, Ross, my pussy hurts. 7. Now, I know that probably 90% of you don't like Bubba. Personally, I think he's okay. But if you think that Alex Bowman drove through him and Bubba didn't just wreck himself, then you should be up in race control with the rest of the 3 blind mice this weekend. Instead of finishing 28th after getting yourself wrecked, maybe you should have just let the guy with 4 fresh tires go by and get a good finish. I'm sorry, Bubba, but you have the tendency to be a total idiot. 4. Well, the good news is William Byron didn't fumble the bag this weekend because there was no bag to fumble. But Willie, I do agree with what you said. You are an idiot. 7. So I put the house on Toddy G, which isn't much, because he was in that beautiful Grillo's pickle car, and that lasted all of 4 laps. So that sucked. 10. Here's your weekly reminder that Riley Herbst does in fact still exist. 6. You can call me crazy, but Zane Smith is due for a legacy run, and I'm not talking about Motor Club. Let me break this shit down for you. First of all, having MRC on as a sponsor is good mojo to begin with. The most obvious example of this is the fact that Zane Smith won the Truck Series Championship with MRC as the main sponsor. The other brilliant point that I'm about to make is that Eric Almirola got Ryan Sieg Racing's only win with MRC as the sponsor at Sonoma. But let me dive even deeper here. For a large majority of last season, Zane Smith ran like shit. It was the summer stretch when he started to come to life. A second place in Nashville on June 28th, that sounds similar to his 7th place finish at Atlanta a couple weeks ago that easily could have been a win. After the second place run at Nashville, he followed it up with a 17th in Chicago. This year, he follows up his near win at Atlanta with a 14th place finish at Chicago. After that, the next road course they went to was the Glen, and he finished 5th. I'm not saying the guy's going to win this weekend, but don't be surprised when you see him running up front. And I didn't even mention the fact that he finished 16th at Sonoma last year when he was running like dog shit. Watch out for Zane Smith this weekend. Remember I said that. This car fucks. 10. Since my interview with John Hunter Nemechek last year, this guy's been driving out of his mind. This weekend will be his 97th career Cup start. He told me in my interview that it takes around 100 starts to get the first win. His 100th race will be at Iowa. Ryan Preece is winning that. But the 103rd race of his Cup Series career will come at Daytona. I will be in person, and he is winning that motherfucker. And then John Hunter Rekachek can officially graduate up to John Hunter Winachek. That sounds ridiculous. But this is the greatest paint scheme John has ever ran his entire career. This is what a Mobil 1 paint scheme is supposed to look like. Absolutely gorgeous. 10. And then you have this abomination. 3. I know those suckholes on TNT, Parker Kligerman and Jamie McMurray, both said that the caution at the end of the race had no effect on who was going to win. But my head is not stuck up NASCAR's ass, and I'm here to tell you that they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Tyler Reddick would have easily won that race had there been a restart. But this car is awful. 3. I mean, I'm clearly no genius, but I feel like the real American beer car probably should have ran during the 4th of July weekend. 9. Ally. 8. Oh, shit! NASCAR saw that and said, let's give him 34 seconds. It's only the fastest part of the racetrack. Let's give it a second and see if he can back out. He only hit those tires going like 120. He's okay. Toss the fact that we missed out on what would have been a great overtime finish. This is just a safety issue. And NASCAR's excuse was that they didn't see it. What do you mean? That would be like missing Jimmy Johnson's wreck at the Glen in 2000. My question to you guys, do you think this would have been called different if it was another driver? If it was Chase Elliott buried balls deep into the tire barrier, do you think they would have thrown the caution immediately? That impact sounded like it could have created a tsunami in Lake Michigan. Just absolutely zero excuses. I'm glad Cody's okay, but this paint scheme kind of sucks. 5. Close but no cigar. Ty Gibbs is never going to win a race. 5. Ryan Preece finished 33rd at COTA and since then has decided to turn into a road course god. RFK is referring to him now as Ryan Van Gisberstappen. Badass nickname. That should probably go on a t-shirt, just like Mr. Busher. 10. We got robbed of a Michael McDowell masterclass because there is no way SVG was beating this man. But life goes on, and more road courses remain. 4. I saw Carson Hocevar was at the Indiana Fever game last night. I think he had a fever on Sunday, and that is how he accidentally created a parking lot. Carson's day will come soon, but first, we gotta hit the casino. Wink, wink. 4. As a fellow Driven Sunglasses ambassador, I can appreciate and respect the fact that SVG kicks everybody's ass on road courses. But if I'm being honest, I'm ready to go back to ovals so this guy can go back to finish in 26th. And hey, Red Bull, how come the Xfinity cars look so good, but the Cup cars look like shit? C4 Energy does it better. 2. Cocodrile. I was really sad I didn't get to say that last week because they didn't upload Daniel's paint scheme to NASCAR.com in time. Daniel is a great character to have in NASCAR, and it's sad to see him leave the team he's been with for years now, but it's time. And sadly, I really don't see him getting another Cup ride. Maybe he'll just go back down to Xfinity and dominate. 8. And the paint scheme of the week goes to John Hunter Nemechek. Yeah, guys, I know. You didn't think this was ever going to happen, did you? I can't deny, this thing is a beauty. Here is this week's top 3. Like I said, don't sleep on Zane Smith. And I already forgot what Big Sips is. Here's the current paint scheme review point standings. I'll see you guys in person next week at Dover. Later.